On the eve of February 16, 1976, a boy was home alone when he spotted a man staring at him through his window. The boy got scared and called his neighbor. His neighbor took one listen at the boy's story and simply told him that if he was seeing things, maybe he should just take a picture and look at it in the morning. The boy did as he was told, and the picture you see before you is what he saw. The following day, the boy went missing. Lost for 19 days, only for his body to turn up dead, mangled, and left to rot in the woods. At first glance, it'd be safe to assume that this picture is fake. Nothing more than a fabricated image to scare anyone who comes across it. However, when you start to research this story further, you come to the realization that it may actually be based in reality. Given the context of the story, and its striking parallel to a real-life case, it's possible that the man you see in the photo may actually be the photo of the Oakland County child killer. For those that don't know, the Oakland County child killer was an unknown murderer responsible for the deaths of 4, possibly more, children in Oakland County, Michigan, between 1976 and 1977. The 4 confirmed murders were Timothy King, Christine Myhalk, Jill Robinson, and Mark Stebbins. Between February and March of said years respectively, 4 children were kidnapped, held for 19 days, and then murdered, just like the story of the picture. These murders resulted in the largest murder investigation in US history at the time, and eventually, the county developed a task force to investigate the murders, walk children and civilians home, and protect the 13 communities to prevent further murders. Despite all that, the murders continued, and no suspect was ever questioned, or found for that matter. Afterwards, the task force developed a profile of the killer, and described him as, quote, a white male, dark-complected, aged 25 to 35, with shaggy hair and long sideburns, eerily describing the man in the picture. If you've noticed so far, there are a few correlations between the picture and the Oakland County child killer. From the description of the man to the amount of time the children were held for, it seems like the man in the photo is potentially the Oakland County child killer. However, by far the most damning piece of evidence that points toward the man in the photo being the OCC killer is the murder of Mark Stebbins. According to an article discussing the OCC killer, in the afternoon on Sunday, February 15, 1976, 12-year-old Mark Stebbins of Ferndale, Michigan, disappeared after leaving the American Legion Hall to go home and watch television. His body was found around 12 miles from his home, laying in a snowbank in a parking lot in Southfield. He was dressed in the same clothes that he was wearing on the day that he was abducted, but they were cleaned and pressed. An autopsy determined that he had been sexually assaulted with an object and strangled to death. Rope burns were discovered on his wrist, indicating that his hands had been tightly bound. Stebbins was taken on February 15, 1976, moments away from February 16, 1976, just like the story. Let's be real here though. It's a stretch to say that the man in the photo is the Orange County child killer, as we still don't know the actual validity of the photo. That said, you can't deny the amount of similarities between the presented story and the factual case of the OCC killer. This video was originally going to be nothing more than a simple stranger than fiction video, but it somehow transformed into this conspiracy theory, I guess. Well, with all that in mind, tell me what you think. Am I crazy or disillusioned in believing that this man in the photo is the OCC killer? Or did I just find a break in the case? Either way, I love the rabbit hole I fell into, and hope you enjoyed it as well.